There are very specific definitions of mild traumatic brain injury in the medical literature. There have been consensus statements going back to the early 90s now that say exactly what a mild traumatic brain injury is. One of the most common definitions of mild traumatic brain injury used in the United States is from the American Academy of Neurology. It is important to notice whether a defense neurologist, that is the person hired by the insurance company to defend the claim, says that there is or is not a traumatic brain injury based on the history, because the American Academy of Neurology has this certain criteria. A mild traumatic brain injury grade 1 under their criteria is no loss of consciousness, transient confusion, there are some concussion symptoms or mental status abnormality, and the Glasgow Coma score is between 13 and 15. A grade 2 would involve, again, no loss of consciousness, some transient confusion, and some abnormal mental status for over 15 minutes. A grade 3, the highest grade, is one with any loss of consciousness at all. And so if you lost consciousness during your traumatic brain injury, the American Academy of Neurology would say you had a grade 3 mild traumatic brain injury. It is important to note that even though the medical definitions of mild, moderate, and severe are based upon historical findings of Glasgow Coma Scale scores of a certain number, and whether there's the presence of a frank bleed or not, the loss of consciousness can influence that to some degree, because of course if you have a long loss of consciousness or automatically go into a coma, you would be considered to have a major traumatic brain injury. But the important thing to note here is that with mild traumatic brain injuries, you can have severe symptomatic consequences. So the fact that it's considered mild under the standard definition does not mean that your symptoms will be mild. And in fact, we've represented many people with mild traumatic brain injuries that have ended their careers as doctors and other professionals, and certainly as lay people.